Okay, so here we are at the Carver Center. Welcome back, everybody. And I am like, I love this swing. I'm a swing. Don't let me start swinging, okay? Because that could turn into a real catastrophe. But at any rate, I'm so excited because I'm here with Latoya Thomas, director of the Carver Center. We've been looking around and checking out the grounds and telling you why you need to get involved and make contributions and become a mentor. Just put in whatever you can to help these kids get some direction and become a progressive, productive part of Jacksonville as a whole, not even just the beach. So I am excited to know about the history here, because I understand not only from you, but other people, there's a lot of history.
It is.
What is this? What streets are we in between here?
We are in between, we're on 5th Avenue South and 4th Avenue in the corner of 6th and 7th Street.
Okay, so 4, 6, 7. So we're close to 3rd Street. What we're about, so we're like 4 blocks off 3rd Street? Or
right.
6
Yeah,
blocks off
not
3rd.
that far.
Yeah. So we're back into this little community. Now I want to share this with you because I was very fortunate to grow up in a home where we weren't affluent, but I had the necessities, and we had, quote unquote, the big house. She grew up pretty much the same way. And this area, when people ride through, this is what I say about not judging people. When you ride through an area like this, first of all, the lawns are clean, the houses are clean, you don't see junk every place and people hanging out. It's not like that.
Right.
However, it is a low-income area. Am I correct?
Right. It's a low-income area within a neighborhood.
Okay, a neighborhood. And the people that I've seen seem to be involved with one another.
Right.
They speak to one another. I don't see any police cars running around with sirens going crazy. So, when it comes to stereotyping, just don't worry about so much about what you see. Find out about it first. And that's what I'm here doing today. I want to know what this is all about.
Okay, well, this neighborhood is called the historical Pablo Beach South neighborhood. Most people, quote unquote, call it the Hill. That is a stereotype that we are trying to get out of.
Okay, the Hill. What was the Hill?
The Hill was basically not even right in this neighborhood, but the Hill has a negative stereotype behind it. Back in the day, it was a lot of African American businesses out here on the beach, but it was also known to have a lot of drug activities as well. But we don't have those activities anymore.
Obviously.
In today's time, drugs is kind of like obsolete. In this neighborhood, it's pretty much different now. So the negative stereotype is going, oh my gosh, I'm riding through the Hill. We don't say that anymore.
Things will stick, won't they?
Right, they do. So we're trying to transition that, because this is not the Hill anymore. This is Jacksonville Beach. Okay, this is like the heart of a neighborhood. This is any great neighborhood. Yes, we do have some low-income housing, but we also have a neighborhood within the low-income housing. You have people that know each other that's been living here for 50 plus years, and you have some that just moved out here with new families that just want to live out here and be closer to the beach. And that's a sense of community to me. Everyone knows each other, everyone speaks to each other. You can walk down the street, you'll know somebody, you can knock on somebody's door and they'll remember you. It's a friendly neighborhood.
Okay, so what makes a neighborhood quote unquote low income?
Okay, we have public housing out here, and that's the low income part. The buildings that you see over here with the colored structure, that is Jacksonville Housing Authority. And then if you look around, you'll see like regular houses.
Like the little,
right.
the houses with the red brick.
Right, the red brick, those are income housing, those are low income housing. And then you have regular housing. So basically the housing neighborhood was put out here, but then you also have the neighborhood part.
Okay.
So we don't treat anyone differently.
Of course
around
not.
here.
Of course not.
Just because they stay in low income housing does not mean they're no different than the next person.
You know what? And that is so imperative what you just said. I know that so many people look down, as if I should say, on people who live here, but when you meet people in the street nowadays or at a store, you don't know who they are.
Exactly.
You don't know what their situation is. And when my story comes out, I'm sure you'll get a clear clue of what I'm talking about. It's not that I was brought up looking down my nose at other people. I was brought up a little more affluently, but I was never taught that anyone was less than another person.
You're right.
We go through situations
right.
that may, and any of you multimillionaires, you live paycheck to paycheck, and don't you forget it, because you can end up in a low-income neighborhood
Right.
and have to fight your way back or not, or maybe you came from a low-income neighborhood, and you should not be ashamed of that, because it's what you do with what you have.
Exactly.
And you mentioned to me that there are some people here who have moved on.
Right.
So let's talk about a little bit about what they've
Well,
done
normally people that stay in low income, subsidized living situations are not meant to live in there for the rest of their life. And that's the stereotype that a lot of people do have. Like, oh my gosh, they're living in these houses and they're just staying there. No, it's a milestone. You know, we don't know what everyone goes through in life. Everyone has hardships. We all go through hardships. We all have hard times. It's just some people fall shorter than others. So they go into these places. They live in them for maybe like 5 years or so, or less than that, and then they try to get themselves back on their feet. You got to think, if you're a single mom and you have 4 kids, we don't know why she's a single mom and have 4 kids.
Right.
You know, we don't know if she was married before. I hope she was married before, but if she was married before and they got a divorce, okay, it's a new
whole new world
it's
for
a
her.
whole new world. You know, you went from a 2-parent home, single, to a single person with 1 income now. And it's tough out here now. You know, to live in a really good apartment, you're spending what, $800-900 a month, sometimes more than that. So this way it helps you to get back on your feet, to rebuild your credit, to just pretty much help. And then you can leave. Once you get yourself established where you need to, then you go on to the next phase into your life.
And you've had some people who have done that.
And we have lots of families that have done that.
Excellent.
A lot of the kids that we have around here now are new kids coming in. A lot of my old families that used to stay out here many years ago, they're no longer out here anymore. Why? Because they've moved on. I mean, and I'm so proud, because to me, that's what it's all about. And then you get to see the kids come back and say, oh my gosh, what you taught us a long time ago, you're so right. It's not easy out here, but we're making a way for ourselves, you know?
So, see, that says a lot. And this is one of the things that I love about Latoya. I've spent time with her. She does interact with the children, with the adults. And believe me, she tells them the truth. A lot of people don't want to hear the truth, you know?
Exactly.
So if you're, and let's just address this, because a lot of low-income families will be a single mother, for example, raising kids, and her mind is on having a boyfriend or somebody that's going to come into her life and help her with her children. Don't do it.
Right.
One thing people need to understand is, especially if you have a son, your son is your little man. That's the way he thinks of himself.
Right.
So when you go out and get yourself a boyfriend because you think you need one, your kids don't need one. Your kids need you to embrace them and hug them and love them and tell them how it is for you and what you're going through and how you're going to help them push forward and not ever have to go through this.
Right.
Because when another person, whether it's male or female, comes into your home, they replace someone. And they're not replacing according to the embracing that those children are used to. So you have to put yourself in your children's shoes. And I'm sure you can address that, because I'm sure you've had people who think, oh, it's all about me and what's going on with me and I need a friend or whatever. But talk about that little bit.
We've seen it all over here, and let me just explain. We are a community center, so I get all walks of life, black, white, purple, green, yellow. I don't care. It's the sense of community that we're trying to build over here. So yeah, people come all the time to visit me, and they'll come and they'll talk. Sometimes just want to vent, and that goes for my kids too. Just want to vent and just want to talk about things that they're going through, because you know, a lot of things I have never experienced, but just working here alone, you've experienced a lot. So we get a lot of mothers in here that need help, and they'll come to me and say, Latoya, I need help. And you know, I'm like, what kind of help? You know, what are you needing help with? I'm knock on wood, I've never had anybody come in here and said they wanted to, you know, commit suicide or they wanted to do end their lives or anything like that. But it's mostly like they're a single mother, they're trying their best, but they need that extra male role model, or they need that female help to just address things that they may not understand that their children are going through, or just an extra set of eyes and ears for them.
Right.
You know, so we get a lot of that. And that's what we try to thrive on over here. It's like making sure we're those extra pair of eyes and ears. And yes, like you addressed before, I do tell like it is, because I don't sugarcoat anything for our kids. And that's what they need to hear.
That's what they need, absolutely.
Because I think sometimes we as an adults, we try to hide things from our young people and not expose them to things, which is a great thing. But then again, some things you need to expose them to. Some things they need to hear because they're hearing it from the wrong people. And sometimes living in this neighborhood or living in a neighborhood in general, you do get the negative things that come out of some of the kids' mouths because they're hearing it from their friend or a friend of a friend or somebody's telling them things. So we as an adults need to be that other ear in the mouthpiece and be able to tell them, no, that's not what's going on. You know, I don't have a big teen pregnancy issue out here. That's a great thing. We don't have a lot of teens that get pregnant. The ones that have gotten pregnant, they're young adults, so they're not like they're a teenager. They're young adults now, so they're making their own choices. We don't have a lot of negative contents as far as like our kids being behavioral. I mean, they're kids, they may get out of hand, but when you tell them, hey, we don't put up with that, they understand. You know, they're very great about authority, they respect everyone, and then sometimes, you know, just give them a little nudge and say, I'm gonna go tell Miss Latoya, and they know. So
they know who you are.
They know who I am, and we all look out for each other.
And I love that. I've seen a few come back through.
Yes.
That in fact, you have one, Johnny, who's working with you now, that she knew as a child. So there are a lot of them that come back and visit.
Yes,
and he's coming to work with you now.
Work with me.
That's awesome.
And that's always uplifting to me. Well, it makes me feel a little old too, but it's also uplifting to me too to see that, you know, whatever good that we instilled in them, they still want to come back.
They still want to come back and help.
And they help. I mean, we've had football camps because my young males have went off to college and came back and wanted to do something positive and just let everybody know what's going on with them and, you know, the giving back. We've had them had our kids just come back and just want to just hang out with the kids and just spend time with me and just tell me about their new journey and their new era of their life, you know. And it's always great to be able to say, hey, I had some type of influence in that.
Absolutely. And
I don't want anything in return other than just, you know, for them to come back and just give their wisdom and their knowledge to the kids.
And know that they're okay.
And know that they're okay. You know, and it's nothing wrong with picking up the phone and seeing them now or talking to them on the phone or seeing them. It's just great. It makes me feel like, oh my gosh, I had a part in that. You know, I had a part with that child. I had a part in raising that child. And that's always a blessing for me.
And with that, can I just say, she said something very essential, that she had a part in that. We all need to take a part in it.
Yes.
Whether you are a business owner, whether you are, you know, and this show is not about asking you for anything, but I have to interject this because it's true. It takes, how do they always say, it takes a tribe to raise or a nation to raise a child or whatever. So it doesn't matter if you're black, white, or polka dot. These children are going to influence something in your life sooner or later. And once again, I will say this. If you're going to complain about it, and I'm putting that nicely, okay? If you're going to complain about it, you need to do something about it. Because complaining gets you no place. Put something into it. Come on out. We will give some information that you can get in touch with her. You want to come out and speak to the children. You want to make a donation or a contribution. Whatever it takes to help this new generation, especially this generation, become productive in our society. Everybody's sitting on TV politicking and talking about how bad everybody is and this kid's disrespecting and that one, but you need to do something. And yes, I'm pointing because, you know, pointing means I mean what I'm saying. I'm on point about this and I know it. Okay, so is there anything that you'd like to interject before you give some information to us?
No, I just want to thank you
summary?
for coming out and doing this. This really means a lot. I've been interviewed before, but never to this extent. So this is always wonderful.
Yeah, people need to know.
Yes, and that's really it. I just want to thank you for this opportunity, and for anybody that's interested in just coming by and just doing a walkthrough, just doing a tour, or just even wanting to know more about the Carver Center and what we have to offer, we are located in 777 5th Avenue South in Jacksonville Beach, Florida. My phone number is 904-270-1614, and I'm Latoya Thomas. You can contact me anytime. I'm here Monday through Friday, 9 to 6.
Give that number one more time.
The number
slower,
is
so everybody write that down.
904-270-1614. Once again, I'll do it again.
Okay.
904-270-1614. We'll take anything. We take water, juices, you name it, we need it. We are our own cleaning crew, so even like the smallest things like cleaning supplies, we need those too. Paper, pencils, so anything. You know, nothing too big, nothing too small. All and everything.
So now, let me ask you one quick question before we take off here. I know you have some meetings every now and then with
Yes.
people who are contributing. Are they open to the public, or how does that work?
To come out to the meetings?
No, I know you say you have some people who are involved in trying to
Yes, that's
redo-
open to anybody who would like to do anything.
Okay. Do you have a calendar, like online or something? How would they find out?
No, I don't have a
what's going
calendar
on?
online. What they need to do is basically, there is a website for us, but it's not for us as general. It's just for the parks
Oh,
as
okay.
a whole.
Okay.
But anytime that you want some information, you can email me.
Oh, good.
And
Email
I can,
address,
okay,
yes.
my email address is Thomas, Thomas, Latoya, Latoya, one word, 78 at yahoo.com, and I'll be able to email you a calendar of events that we have going on, if there's anything going on for the next couple of months, or if not. If you just want to come by and just see, come on by. We're
Yes.
open. My door is always open.
Yes, and yeah, come and see, because that gives you more incentive.
Right.
To want to get out and do something. And the other thing is, I wanted to ask you about the Carver Center. Do you know where that name came from?
Yes,
And-
George Washington Carver.
Oh, really? Is that why it's called the Carver Center?
Yep.
Very nice, very nice. Okay, we're going to have more on this. I'm going to try to keep up with the goings on, and maybe come out and do some filming when they're having some events, and maybe when the mayor is
Yes,
visiting, and
yes.
things like that, and just sit out here and just swing and just have a really good time. I've enjoyed this. Thank you so much.
No problem. Thank you for coming.
All right. Stay tuned to life and keep learning. On Point with Christina. We'll see you soon.
Bye.